The warehouse stood empty now. 27 years of work, of dreams built from blueprints and sweat, reduced to silence and dust particles dancing in shafts of afternoon light. The machines were gone, the workers scattered. Even the company name had been scraped from the wall, leaving only a ghost shadow where letters once proclaimed something permanent. But the man standing in that hollow space was not broken. He was learning what the Stoics knew, that loss reveals rather than destroys. It strips away what we thought was essential and shows us what actually remains. This is the teaching of Cleanthes, the ancient Stoic who worked as a night laborer to pay for his philosophy lessons. He understood that life takes everything eventually, but he also discovered what it cannot touch. Today, we explore what the Stoics called the inner citadel, that protected space where your true self dwells, unreachable by any external force. The first truth Cleanthes taught his students was this: your capacity to think clearly does not depend on what you possess. When his boxing career ended and poverty forced him to haul water through Athens in darkness, his mind remained sharp. His judgment stayed unclouded. The circumstances changed everything except what mattered most: his ability to reason, to choose, to decide what things meant. Loss has a way of making us believe that our thinking depends on our circumstances. We lose a relationship and assume we cannot trust our judgment about love. We lose a career and decide our assessment of opportunities is worthless. We lose someone dear and conclude that our capacity for joy has been permanently damaged. But Cleanthes worked with his hands in sewage and emerged each morning to engage with the greatest philosophical minds of Athens. His external world was harsh, uncertain, often humiliating. His internal world remained a fortress, citadel held because he understood what belonged to him and what did not. The second principle that survives every loss is your power to assign meaning. The Stoics taught that events are neutral until we interpret them. Cleanthes lost his savings, his social status, his comfortable life, but he never lost his authority over what these experiences would signify. You cannot control what leaves your life. You cannot prevent the phone call that changes everything, the diagnosis that rewrites your future, the betrayal that destroys what you trusted. But you retain complete sovereignty over what story you tell about these events. Loss can mean defeat or education. Endings can mean failure or preparation. Grief can mean damage or deepening. When the Industrial Revolution destroyed traditional craftsmanship, many artisans saw only destruction. But others recognized that their real skill was not in the particular tools or methods. It was in understanding quality, in solving problems, in creating something meaningful with their hands. The machinery changed, the fundamental capacity remained. This is why Cleanthes could find meaning in hauling water that he never found in winning boxing matches. The external activity was humbler, but the internal choice to see it as financing his education transformed everything. He was not a man reduced to manual labor. He was a philosopher who happened to work at night. The third element that endures through any loss is your ability to care about something beyond yourself. Grief often makes us feel that love was a mistake, that caring deeply leads only to suffering. But the Stoics understood that your capacity for love is not diminished by loss, it is revealed by it. Cleanthes lost his comfortable life, but gained deeper compassion for those who struggled. His suffering did not make him bitter. It expanded his understanding of what others endured. The love he felt for philosophy became more profound because he knew its cost. The relationships he built were stronger because he understood their fragility. When you lose someone important, the love does not disappear. It transforms from active care to living memory, from shared experience to carried wisdom. The person may be gone, but your capacity to love, stretched and deepened by that relationship, remains available for new connections, new purposes, new meaning. The fourth truth that survives loss is your fundamental identity as someone who can act with virtue. Circumstances may strip away your roles, your possessions, your plans, but they cannot touch your ability to respond with courage, justice, wisdom, and self-discipline. Cleanthes the boxer became Cleanthes the laborer, then Cleanthes the teacher. His identity was not tied to any particular role. It was anchored in his commitment to living with virtue, regardless of his circumstances. The form of that virtue changed, from physical discipline to philosophical rigor to teaching excellence, but the core commitment remained constant. You may lose your position, but retain your integrity. You may lose your health, but keep your courage. You may lose your certainty, but preserve your honesty about not knowing. These virtues are not dependent on external success. They emerge most clearly when everything else has been taken away. The fifth and final principle is perhaps the most powerful. Your ability to begin again is never lost. The Stoics believed that every moment offers a fresh start, that past losses do not determine future possibilities. Cleanthes started over multiple times, as an athlete, a laborer, a student, a teacher. Each ending became the foundation for a new beginning. This is not about optimistic thinking or pretending that losses don't matter. Essential nature, as someone who can learn, grow, adapt, and create meaning, remains intact no matter what has been taken from you. The warehouse may be empty, but the knowledge of how to build remains. The relationship may have ended, but the wisdom gained through loving remains. The chapter may be closed, but the capacity to write new chapters remains. The inner citadel that Cleanthes described is not a place you retreat to when life becomes difficult. It is the recognition that your deepest self, your ability to think, choose, love, act virtuously, and begin again, cannot be touched by any external force. Loss reveals this truth rather than threatens it. What remains after loss is not less than what you had before. It is the distilled essence of what was always truly yours. The rest was on loan, and now you know the difference. If this moved you, comment "The Citadel holds" below. It is our sign that you carry the philosophy with you. Subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.